Hey you guys, it's Rachel here with Senza Tempo Cane Corso. So look who I've got inside. I've got the Don Juane. The Don Juane, Donny. He did big old dog. So I just taped up his ears. I'm doing a method of mine where I do I do a 24-hour taping where I do them a little bit tighter than I would normally do them, and then I take it off after 24 hours, and then I retape normally. And what it basically does is, when you tape a little bit tighter than you would want to, it kind of puts this pressure and it really softens up the ear and prepares it to be shaped differently, if that makes sense. And so anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. He's really turning out to be a fantastic, he's a gigantic dog. He's 7 months old, and he's just massive at 7 months old. Oi, come here. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Get off me, punk. Yep, there you are. Oh. Trying to push him down. Did you big old dog? 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 There he goes. Velocity, Karen. Ain't nobody talking to you. Ugh. So, anyway, hang a baby. Oh, he's a big old baby. So yeah, so having my dogs outside has presented a new challenge for me in regards to how to work with the dogs. And so I'm trying to do this thing where what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know I don't trust you. Come here. Let him go outside real quick because he's not house trained yet. Come on, you guys. So, anyway, so I'm trying to do this thing where I spend time with the puppies, but overall, I kind of let them do dog bonding initially, and then once they get a bit older, like his age, 7 months old, then I start to work on them on human socialization, and so anyway, I think that really is the best method. It also gives them time to adjust to being. Come on, quit it. Unlock. There we go. I don't know why it's being this way. Anyway, it gives them time to adjust to being out in the kennel, because I was trying to keep them inside at a younger age. And then whenever I would go and put them out in the kennel, if I needed to go somewhere, whatever, the amount of barking was ridiculous. You know what I mean? I mean, they would just freak out, which really wasn't practical. And so I think that doing it older, like having them out and then bringing them in when they're a little bit older is going to do a lot for me, to make that a lot easier. Come on, you guys. So anyway, good boy. Look at you. Look at you. So yeah, so that's my new method. I had venom in last night, and that was a mistake. And I mean, the thing is like puppies can only hold their bladder for so long. And I will say, he did not go to the bathroom in the house, thank God, which is actually pretty rare. But what was bad is that I was so paranoid the whole time. And so I was like sitting there, I had to have him like leashed up to my side table so that I knew where he was. And he was like kind of getting up and messing around. And it just ended up being like a lot more work. And it wouldn't have been, had he been older, where he could just sleep through the night and it wouldn't have been a big deal. And so, the dogs need the socialization to be able to be in a pack. And so I think it's very good that they grow up with that. And then bringing them in when they're still 6-7 months old gives me the ability to then continue with socialization and all that good stuff. All right, you guys, let's go. Hurry! Come on. Come. Batista, hush it up. Let's go. Now, Jefe. Come on. Come on, Don Juan. Good boy. Good boy. Who else we got? Come on. Let's get in here, Zoe. Good girl, Zoe. Here's a good girl, Zoe. Dude, let me tell you something. Zoe. Hold on, we need Blondie. Blondie, come on. So Nirvana did one too many kitchen raids and got kicked out. She's been taking the full advantage in the house and been getting up on the counter when she knows she shouldn't be. Blondie, come! And I got sick and tired of it. And I was like, you know what? You can go outside. The only problem with her, she's not a crier, but she is a barker. Like, if she hears things outside, she's vocal. Takes her a while to quiet down after that, which is really annoying. Blondie, now! Get your little fat butt over here. I'm going to you. Yeah, There you are. What were you doing, chunky booty? What were you doing? You're looking mighty round. What were you getting into? Look at you licking your lips. I knew it. What were you doing? What were you doing? What was it? What was it? What was it? Give me that face. Let me look in that face. What have you been eating? Chicken feed? You're a bad dog. Shh, bad dog. Fatty. I'm gonna put you on that Gentle Giant stuff that I got Jefe on. So, speaking of Jefe, so his feet look good right now, but I'm going to show you a picture in a second. I'm going to show you what can happen. It kind of, you can see on that foot right there, it's a little wonky, and I'm going to show you, both of his feet were horrible. They just went super flat. And they were like seal, just like flippers. They were just flipped out. It was horrible. And I didn't know that Savannah, one of her chores is to feed the dogs. And she had been feeding Jefe adult food from the time that he was around 10 months old. Get down. Get down. And so, I noticed it. And I thought, well, maybe he's just going through a growth thing or whatever. And then it got worse. Get down. Don Juan, it got worse, and so, what was that, dude? Yeah, and so anyway, so kind of like his, you see how flat his feet are right now? And so I don't know if that's what Savannah's doing. I will say with this guy, it's a little bit different. He's a absolutely gigantic 7-month-old puppy. And his pasterns are not doing anything weird. It's just his feet are flat. And that could very well be an age thing. So regardless, though, like I said, it's his time. I'm going to start working on him. I'm going to start fine-tuning him. He's at an age now where he's, at the best age for me to start doing that stuff. And so, and the reason for that is because sometimes Corso can... They go through, all dogs go through like this fear stage as they're growing up. But with Corso, it can be even more intense because they are guardian dogs. And so they are bred to be, suspicious of suspicious situations, right? And in order for them to know what a suspicious situation is, they have to watch and look. So at a certain age, they just kind of turn on and they start to identify people and situations as a potential hazard or threat. And so that's what socialization is. You have to work with them and teach them and show them what is a threat and what's not. And oftentimes when they're super young, it can be even harder to do that because they lack confidence because they're so small. It's kind of the way that you see Chihuahuas and stuff. Like, it's not necessarily that those dogs have a horrible temperament so much as, you mix a little bit of fear and insecurity in with a tiny dog that cannot defend itself. And you suddenly get this animal that just thinks that it's in a, world full of dangerous giants. And so anyway, so some Corso can kind of go through a little bit of that, very similar. And so it's better to kind of wait till they're a little bit bigger, and you don't have to, but it can be better depending upon the dog, to wait till they're a little bit bigger and a little bit more confident in themselves before you take them out, so that they don't necessarily react as negatively as maybe they would, and thus don't create any bad habits. Because I think that's what I did with Hefe. I think he was one of the dogs that would have benefited from that. It's kind of a lesson that I learned with him. And he's fine now. I actually took him out recently and he was much better. So with maturity, he's gotten a lot more confident, and therefore his ability to interact with strangers has definitely gotten better. Initially he didn't want anything to do with people. And so, me, I like my dogs to be socialized. He was fine with people coming on the property as far as buyers, things like that. Friends, things like that. Not a problem. We'll socialize with people, come to pick up their puppies. But in public, like when we'd go out to Tractor Supply or stuff, he really has not been my most social dog. And so anyway, one of the things that I think made it worse is that normally if I'm dealing with a dog like that, I'll oftentimes, like if I'm training or something, I would have always brought a buddy dog out to help, them build some confidence or whatever. But anyway, I, for whatever reason, really wasn't thinking, guess it's because of my own dog or whatever, but I was like, oh no, I want him to be, tough and independent and blah, blah, blah. And so I was taking him on his own, which was only making the situation worse. And little by little, the only thing that really changed is, his age. And as he's gotten older, sorry, I'm trying to push him off me. He's steady trying to get up on this couch. No. So anyway, so his maturity, and I'd spoken with a couple mentors of mine, and I was like, man, like, is this a bad temperament? And they laughed at me, and they were like, he's a puppy and he's a year old, and these dogs can take every bit, you don't ever judge a dog's temperament until they're at least 18 months old, is what he said. So, sure enough, he's totally right. He's not even that old, and he's already better. So, like I said, having said that, kind of a lesson for me in that, with as many dogs as I have and what I'm doing, it's better if I just wait till they're a little bit older and they've got some size on them so that they don't feel as threatened by the world that they already view as potentially threatening. Yes, we see you, Don Juan. We see you, Don Juan. And also, I didn't finish on the feet. So, very important when you're dealing with the bigger the dog and the bigger the bone, the more careful you have to be about the food that you're feeding. And so when she was feeding him adult food, we feed our adults a 30-20, 30 protein, 20 fat. And that's way too much. And one of the things that you'll notice is this bone right here will get way too big right here. This bone right here. This wrist bone here, and you'll see how it kind of pokes out right here. That's actually swelling in his joint. See here, swelling in his joint, and so that comes from, and you don't see it as much on this one, which isn't as affected. And he's always had nice straight feet. So for him to be going through that, when you see it in puppies, when you see that enlarged cannon bone like that, you have to slow down their feet. It basically is a big sign that they're growing too fast. And that's why he got really fat. And that's another big thing, that's a two-part problem. And so even with a dog with fantastic hips like Hefe, you can still break them down by having too much weight on them, particularly when they're very young. So as soon as I noticed it, I immediately brought him in. I started controlling his feeding, and his feet have gotten, I would say, around 75% better. I still have that one foot that's looking a little wonky, but it's not near as bad as it was. So anyway, so it was pretty bad. The foot was flat and it was just completely turned out like that. It was so ugly. It was no way I was going to be able to show him with his foot like that. But anyway, that's one of those issues that you can fix with supplements. And that's the thing about, supplementing your dog, your large growing dog. You do want to make sure that you're feeding them the right food, and that if you start to notice those things, that you get them on Ester C, which is what we got him on, Ester C and MSM. And then right now I actually have him on a food that is actually very, I think it's like a 24 protein, 14 fat, I think. It's very, very, like, not something that you would normally keep a growing puppy on. But in his case, I really need to slow him down a bit and get his body healed up properly. And then we'll probably switch him over to the puppy food and finish him out on puppy food for until he's probably around 2.5 years old. We'll just see. So because Corso really do need every bit of 3 years to be grown. But really happy to see that it balanced out. And I'm gonna keep him on this this kind of, it's almost like a diet food in a way, to kind of make sure that he's growing slowly and that he's not overdoing it. And then, like I said, once I feel more confident that I've gotten it in check, then I'll probably migrate him back over to the puppy food, which is still, I think, like a 26-18 or something like that. So, and that's the thing with a large breed puppy like this, unless you're feeding something like Farmina is the only food that I've ever been able to feed a very high protein to puppies that does not have an adverse effect. And that's basically because they're utilizing all of it, that it's so dense in correct nutrition that nothing goes to waste. And I think that what ends up happening with these guys is when it's a lesser protein source, it doesn't fully absorb in the body the way that it should. And I think I don't know what it's doing, but it does something. Negatively. And so another thing you'll see, what's called bowing over, which is where the front pastern will kind of go like this. So it kind of makes them look like when they're standing straight, their leg will be like that, but then the foot will be like that, if that makes sense. So that's bowing over, where the foot is flat, but the wrist is still outwards. That's your bowing over. And so anyway, that's also a sign of way too high a protein. No, you will not get on my couch, bro. No, you will not. You just got here and you went on my couch. No. Like I said, in his case, his feet being really super flat right now could very well be an age thing, but I am going to bring him in, and I have started him on Ester C as well to help tighten up his feet. And I'm going to monitor that myself and make sure that it gets better. I need to let him outside. But anyway, I got a big surprise for you guys. I'm not going to let you know tonight. I will let my Patreon members know tonight, but anybody else is going to find out tomorrow. But I had a surprise, something that happened that I wasn't even planning for, looking for, nothing like that. So cool stuff. So anyway, hope you guys are having a good night. Hope you enjoyed this little video with Don Juan. And I'll talk to you later. Bye.